What does timer mean? I went to 0. I don't know what that means. Hi my beautiful YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. So I probably look cray to the cray because I have no makeup on. I just rolled out of bed because I did. But I decided I need to go ahead and record my second trimester update video. So here we are. Oh, but if you don't know who I am, if you're new to the team, welcome. I'm Danny. Clearly, I record videos of makeup. Sometimes I eat food and talk about just random shit. And lately I've been tracking my pregnancy journey because I am knocked up. So I also do weird hand movements and I say and things like that, and so a lot. So look at that. Welcome to the team. I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you are. So anyway, I'm going to record my second trimester update. If you haven't seen the first trimester update, make sure you go watch it. You can leave here and go watch it first, or you can watch it after this. Is your prerogative. Whatever you want to do. I will link it in the video, of course. So I also asked how y'all wanted me to track my pregnancy and nobody said anything. So I'm just going to do what I want to do. And just do trimester by trimester, because honestly, week by week, nothing really changes. I mean, things change, but nothing to really have to update y'all every single week. And then month by month, I could do that in this video. So let's get started and talk about my second trimester of pregnancy. Y'all say hi to Cuba and Ice Cube. If you know this movie, thumbs up. Let's leave in the comments if y'all know what movie this is. If you know what movie this is, you the realest. And if you are not black, you are invited to the cookout. We're gonna watch this movie at the end. So anyway, I am officially in my third trimester now. So that's why I said I'm gonna go ahead and do this video while, you know, my second trimester is still fresh in my memory before I get too deep into my third. And then the lines start getting blurred. So I am 28 weeks as of 2 days ago. So 28 weeks is the start of the third trimester. So I'm on the final stretch. Just 12 short weeks until I get to meet my bundle of joy. But before we got there, we went through the whole second trimester, which I count as like the second 15-ish weeks of pregnancy. So my second trimester was from February 28th to June 11th, because June 12th, which was 2 days ago, was the day I was officially 28 weeks, which started my third trimester. So February 28th to June 11th was my second trimester, 15 weeks approximately. And that's when, you know, shit starts speeding up. I'm also thirsty, if y'all knew. But I should add that to my list of symptoms. If I can remember when I get to the symptom section, I'll bring up how I'm always thirsty. If not, I just brought it up. So there you go. So anyway, so I'm gonna start talking about just like an update on like how the appointments went, and you know, the technical things before I get into the like fun stuff about the symptoms and things like that. So if you remember from my last video with my first trimester update, you have appointments, doctor's appointments, once every 4 weeks, like once a month, until you get into your third trimester. So I was having appointments just once a month. It's kind of nerve-wracking because I wanted to like see what's going on every time, hear the heartbeat and things like that. But I would have to wait and not know what's freaking going on in my body. I mean, I always write my doctor, but I always want to talk to her in person. But anyway, so when I talked about appointments last, I left off that I had my first appointment, my first trimester, in February. Then I had my second appointment, which was when I started my second trimester. And that's when I first heard the heartbeats. So that appointment was March 4th-ish. So in that case, I was like maybe 15 weeks pregnant. And I heard the heartbeat for the first time. It was a fun feeling. If I feel like it, or if I remember, I'll add in the video I took of the heartbeat. It sounded like horses galloping, and kind of like, as the doctor said, like a techno beat. Shit, some people use it as a ringtone. It was just like whoosh, 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 really, really fast. And she was like showing me like how to differ from my heartbeat to the baby's heartbeat, because you could hear mine was like boom, 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 like a regular heartbeat, and the baby was like boom, 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 boom,
Some people like to use it as a ringtone. Oh, there, Dad, I got a good one. Oh, do you have it? Oh, are you recording this time? Okay. Perfect. Now you got it.
anyway. So that was fun. I thought I was gonna cry, but I didn't. And in that moment, I was kind of like, am I a normal person? Because I feel like I see videos, I hear people talk about they heard the heartbeat and they cried and they had just this emotional moment. I did, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And that was about it. But yeah, that's how that appointment went. That was like my first real appointment, because the first initial appointment is really just getting all your initial blood work and vitals and things and meet your doctor. This is when I was really starting to get like into the routine of appointments. And that was also the last appointment that my kid's dad was able to go to, because coronavirus was starting up, and she's still here, so he hasn't been able to come to an appointment physically since then. So kind of sad for him, sad for me too, because I had to go by myself, but I've gotten used to it at this point. But yeah, he definitely feel like he's missing out, because he wish he was there physically, but he could be there on FaceTime now. So that was that appointment, nothing too crazy. So the next appointment, April, was she took the genetic blood work. So I mentioned before, in your appointments monthly, you go in, do your biometrics, hear the heartbeat, ask doctor questions. That's it. Some appointments might have something different, just depending on like what's going on in that point in your pregnancy. Most of the time it's really just like the same old thing. So my April appointment, I believe that's when I took my genetic blood testing. So they take blood to test for things like, well, I think it was my choice. I think she said if I wanted to I could, if I didn't want to I didn't have to, but I chose to. So in that case, to the genetic blood testing, the test for like Down syndrome, I think spina bifida, I think Turner syndrome is another one. So any like genetic disorders, with the chromosomes or things like that, they test for that in the blood. So they took that blood work, because I said yeah I wanted to, and she let me know that it can either get two results, either inconclusive or negative. If it's negative, you're negative for any of the hormonal genetic disorders. If it's inconclusive, that means they can't really tell if it's positive or negative, so it's like a 50-50 either way. So in that case, if it was inconclusive, I had the option of doing an additional test called the amniocentesis, which they take like a needle into your uterus. They take some of the amniotic fluid out of your uterus to test that, and that's a better tell if you're gonna have these like Down syndrome genetic disorders. There's a risk for that. It's like a percentage chance like miscarrying after that, and you could bleed after, and it's kind of risky, but just like if you really want to do that, you can. It's just an option for you. My baby's dad was really highly against it. Like as soon as she brought that up, he was like, no, we're not gonna do that. We'll love the baby either way, whether it has a disorder or not. We don't need to know this test. And she was like, well, y'all at least talk about it and see. And I kind of felt the same way, because I didn't want to put my baby at risk just for a genetic disorder test. But I just prayed that it was negative, which it was. So we didn't have to worry about the amniocentesis anyway, because test came back negative. So after that, we also scheduled my first anatomy scan, which is I think what every pregnant woman really looks forward to, because that's when you get to see like the baby actually look like a baby. As I saw before in my first ultrasound, it looked like just like a little blob. In the second one, the anatomy scan, it looks more like a baby, and then you actually hopefully learn the gender at that time. So we were able to schedule that for the end of April. They typically schedule the anatomy scan between 18-20 weeks. That's when you get like you have to be at least 18-20 weeks. My place, that office I had to go to, they want you to be at least 20 weeks, so I had to wait till the end of April. So it was originally scheduled for April 24th, but because of COVID, they had to push it back. So I already had to wait a whole month to even get to see my baby. And really, my first ultrasound was in January, so I had to wait from January until April, end of April, to see my baby again. And then I need to push back a few more days, so I ended up having it on April 29th. And it was like, that was probably the most nerve-wracking time frame waiting to actually get to see my baby and learn the gender. So I had that on April 29th. I was 21 weeks, 5 days. I talked a little bit about that in another video, and I'll link that one up here so I can go watch that to see the plot twist of this whole story. So I'm not gonna go too deep into the story because I have a whole video about it. But basically went there, you know, anatomy scan, got to see, you know, the baby. They tested for like, because at that point the baby should be like, at the most part, developed its, you know, body parts, but they can tell if there's a problem or not. You know, got there, found out initially that it was a girl, as the ultrasound tech said, so that was exciting. They also found a spot on the heart. I forgot what it's called. Let me look it up so I can tell y'all what it is. They noted it as a echogenic intracardiac focus, which is like a spot on the heart, and they're saying that's like a soft marker or like an indicator of like Down syndrome. So they always advise you do like the additional genetic testing, which I already did. So when I talked to my doctor at my appointment after that, she was like, well, you already did the genetic test, the blood testing, and it came back negative, so you know your baby does have Down syndrome, so you're good on that one. So it's just common. So it usually goes away at birth, but not really worried about that, especially when they say simply normal. So I'm just gonna hope and pray that it remains that way. Had the anatomy scan, found out it was a girl, did like a gender reveal, did a video, we'll link it if you haven't seen it already. And started buying clothes, people started getting me gifts, etc, etc. And then we had to schedule a second one. I'll get to that, but again, I talked about it in my last video, so y'all can, if y'all seen it, y'all already know, or y'all can go and watch it and y'all can understand the full depth of it. So anyway, I had my May appointment. After that, it was just regular. She told me I'm gonna need to go for another anatomy scan because they didn't get all the full pictures that they really needed. They said it was fine, just schedule another one for 4 weeks from now. Okay, so they also told me to prepare for my glucose tolerance test, which is where they test for like gestational diabetes and stuff like that. And I also ordered a belly band, which I have yet to get. So I'm very tempted to go get my own, because I told my doctor I was having back pain, and she's like, well, we can order you a belly band, like a support band, it's no problem. They ordered that back in May. It's now June. She said it would take me 2 weeks to get to me. It's been a whole month. I haven't gotten it. I called them for an update. They don't know where it's at, and I'm just like, I'm about to go buy my own because my back's hurting. I'll get into that for symptoms later on. So go for the second anatomy scan. A few weeks later, end of May, find out the plot twist. Again, go watch that video, you'll see the plot twist. But basically, I'm not gonna keep being cryptic. It's just further details in that video. I found out I'm actually having a boy. Long story short. So that's how May went. It's been like a little roller coaster for the past couple months in the second trimester. So my last second trimester appointment was beginning like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago, maybe about like a week or two ago, beginning of June. That's when we did the glucose tolerance test, and that test, they typically try to do that one between 24 and 28 weeks, so in the second trimester. I was 26 weeks and 4 days when I took mine in the beginning of June. You know, you come in, drink this sugary glucose drink. It tastes like flat soda. I had the fruit punch flavor, I'm almost positive, and it tastes, you know, I did have fruit punch flavor because it tastes like Hawaiian punch, like kind of like a carbonated Hawaiian punch, and it wasn't too bad to me. It was like, it was room temperature, so it wasn't cold, so just like, I don't know, like just taking a room temperature, a Hawaiian punch that been sitting out carbonated, like a Hawaiian punch soda, if you will. So you have to drink that in 5 minutes, and then an hour later they take your blood to test your glucose. So after I took the drink, I went to just my regular appointment, talked to my doctor about different things. I don't think if anything major happened at that appointment, no. We talked about the whole gender mix up, and she said I could rest assured that it's a boy, but I'm still not rest assured. But me and her are gonna discuss that at the next appointment. She did let me know that we're gonna start having appointments every 2 weeks, because after this appointment I will be into my 28 weeks. So once you hit 28 weeks, your appointments are every 2 weeks as opposed to every 4. So I'm scheduled for that. She told me some things I should be preparing for, and you know, as I'm getting closer and closer to my due date. So that was that. I got my glucose tolerance test back after that. Like after my appointment, I kind of sat for a while. My appointments are usually only like 20-30 minutes. So I sat for the rest of the time until it's time to get my blood work taken. Test came back a couple days later. Test was negative. I don't have gestational diabetes. This pregnancy has been like a blessing to me that all these tests come back negative. I'm so happy and thank God for that. So that's the gist of the appointments. Like I said, they were once every month, once every 4 weeks. Now they'll be every 2 weeks. So that's kind of exciting. I get to, you know, get more updates and talk to my doctor more frequently, which I'm excited for because I like to talk to her in person as opposed to like sending a message to her through our like app. So that's exciting. I get to hear the heartbeat more and more growth with the baby. So now that the boring stuff's out of the way, let's get into what, you know, I think people are more interested in, which is like the symptoms. So my initial symptoms that I spoke about in my first trimester video started to subside. Like, I had way more energy. I was less tired than I was before. I wasn't nauseous anymore. You know, nausea was the worst part of my first trimester. I couldn't even eat. That wasn't the problem no more. I was no longer nauseous. Nausea had gone completely. Was really, it just like seven finger was gone. So I was able to eat. My appetite was back. It came back with a vengeance, child. My appetite was so much heavier. And because of that, I actually gained more weight. So at my last appointment, so in my June appointment, she had mentioned that I was doing so good gaining weight at first, but now I gained like, no, my last 2 appointments, I gained too much weight. So the May appointment I gained, between April and May, I had gained 10 pounds, she said. And then from May to June, I had gained 7 pounds, which I think is because I left my shoes on, honestly. Because of Corona, I started like keeping my shoes on when I take my little, I'm weird. I used to take my shoes off, and now I'm kind of like keep my shoes on. But I think that adds to it because I've been weighing myself lately, and I feel like I haven't gained as much weight from when I first started, but I don't know, we'll see. So she been telling me to watch my weight because I'm trying to gain too much weight. But it's because I can eat, child. Now I want to eat. I'm so much more hungry now because I'm not nauseous all the time. I'm also in a better mood. At first I was moody, very emotional. I still am kind of, but I'm a little happier. I was going through pregnancy depression, kind of. I don't want to say really bad because I don't know what's normal, what's not, and other people probably have like worse depression than I do, but I was really going through pregnancy depression. So I had like got over that, which I'm still gonna make the video about it. I might make that like later on today. So my mood had, after, you know, I got through pregnancy depression, which was really after I found the gender the first time, my mood was like so much more elevated and I wasn't like a happy person. But then when I found out they got the gender wrong, I fell back into that depression because I'll talk about it in the last video, and I'll talk about my gender disappointment pregnancy depression video. But yeah, so I fell back into that depression for not very long. It wasn't as long as like the initial depression, but it definitely came back. But I think now I've gotten over it. My mood is a little more better now. It's more elevated, happier. So again, thank God for that. I got out that funk. That was all the old symptoms that went away. Like I said, I had more energy. The fatigue is starting to come back. I think that's just because I'm beginning my 3rd trimester, which they say is, you know, it kind of doubles back as like a first trimester part 2. Baby's getting bigger, so baby's eating more of my energy that we're sharing. So I'm a little sleepy. So as far as new symptoms, well, the freaking urination's still here. I still have to pee a freaking lot. But added on to that is like the frequent need to poop. Like as soon as I eat, I have to like go poop. I think it's kind of weird. So my doctor says normal. It's like as soon as I eat something, it's like, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like as bad as like the pee was. And I've had like a little bouts of constipation. That's kind of just now started though. My doctor wanted me to let her know that when I started feeling constipated. So I'm probably gonna send her a message after this video, let her know that I've started feeling a little constipated. But for the most part, no freaking urination, freaking poop. Bathroom, my friend said that the bathroom is literally my second home, and it literally is. Like I go to the bathroom a freaking lot. It's kind of sick, really. As I mentioned before, the back pains are starting, especially lower back pain. That's why I ordered the belly band that I haven't gotten yet, and I'm still mad about that, like really. But whatever, ain't nothing I can do about it. I think it's because of the weight gain. My doctor says most likely because of the weight gain, because I've gained a lot more weight than I should. She thought I kind of started the back pain a little sooner than I should have. She thinks it's because I've gained a lot more weight. But yeah, my lower back hurts. I get like pains in my stomach. A lot of people say the Braxton Hicks start in 2nd trimester. I don't know what they're supposed to feel like. So I don't know if I felt them or not. I do get like cramps in my stomach, but that could be round ligament pain. So I don't know. A lot of pain has started more so, as opposed to like, you know, like nausea and things like that. It's more like physical pain that I'm feeling, like my lower back, my stomach hurts, I get cramps, I get vagina spasms. Another thing that you bring up to my doctor, let me make that note. Hers called lightning crotch, which is very common, but it comes so random. It's just like a pain in your vagina. Like, oh my god, like what is going on? My nipples itch the worst. My stomach doesn't itch as much as like my nipples do. Like my nipples itch so badly. It's like they ache because they itch so bad. But I actually made my own homemade belly butter for my stomach to prevent like stretch marks. But I put on my nipples too to relieve the itching because they're like natural like butters, like shea butter, cocoa butter, coconut oil, avocado oil. It's all natural, everything. So I put it on like my nipples and my stomach. Some different stretch marks, nipples to relieve the itching. So I try to apply that twice a day if I can remember. Definitely daily. Hopefully twice a day, at least once a day. I've also started to get the dreaded heartburn. For the longest, I didn't have it, and my doctor thought that was weird. She's like, people usually have heartburn by now. I was like, my baby's gonna be bald. You know, they say if you have a lot of heartburn, your baby's gonna have a full head of hair. I'm like, I ain't had no heartburn. My baby's gonna be bald. But now it's starting. It doesn't feel like what I always thought heartburn. I haven't had heartburn in a long time. So it didn't really feel like what I thought. It's not really like a burning. It's kind of like a pressure, like a stretching. But I feel like in my chest and like in my throat, it feels like food's coming back up. I feel like I have to burp. Kind of, and sometimes like a hiccup, and that's how I know. It's like more like acid reflux as opposed to like straight up just heartburn in my chest. So yeah, that started. Especially when I've had like spicy food, which I love. I had buffalo wings the other day, and I felt that pressure like as soon as I started eating them. They were so good. I'm getting fat. I can't bend over. I tried to take my toe polish off the other day. I had to have somebody come help me. If I drop something, it's the worst because I can't bend down to pick it up. My stomach's getting in the way. I lose my breath when I bend over. It hurts. I can't get up, like roll. Like if I'm laying down in position, I have a hard time getting up to roll. Like I can't like just sit up. I have to like roll over to get out. It's so disgusting. If you haven't noticed, my nose is huge. My nose is spreading. It's the part I hate the most, because like, you know, it's the middle of your face. Like you can't hide your nose, child. My nose is so freaking big. I am wearing this pregnancy on my body for sure, but it is what it is. Anything for a healthy baby. I think that's all the symptoms. Oh, of course, I'm thirsty. I was always thirsty, but I'm even more thirsty now, and nothing like satisfies my thirst. Like, I try to drink all day, and it has to be thirsty. Mouth would just like dry. I don't know why, but very bad cotton mouth. I think it's all the symptoms. If I can think of any more, I'll leave them in the description box. Or if there's a symptom that you think that you want to know if I ever experienced, let me know in the comments. We can talk about it. I'm talking kind of fast because I think my phone's about to run out of storage. My camera's about to run out of storage because it says 8 minutes up here. So I think it's telling me 8 minutes before I'm full or before it overheats. Let me stop even talking about it. I'm wasting time.